Thank you for inviting us to be part of this discussion. Bringing people together is very much what the retirement community sector is all about, so it's a really topical discussion for us. Just to introduce myself, my name is Gareth Lyon. I'm the Head of Policy and Communications at ARCO, the Associated Retirement Community Operators, which is the body representing and setting standards for the housing with care sector in the UK. We support more than 30 not-for-profit and private organisations who develop and operate high-quality retirement communities. These communities are distinct from both care homes and retirement housing, combining self-contained homes for sale or shared ownership or rent with 24-hour on-site staffing, CQC registered domiciliary care, and a wide range of communal facilities. And that is one of the key points we're coming back to later about how some of the challenges our members have faced during the lockdown and their desire to keep bringing people together. So I'm going to mostly be talking about our members because that's what our job is as a membership body, but I'll include some reflections about how things have been for us as a team at ARCO as well. Just about retirement communities, as well as boosting the physical and mental health of their residents and creating big cost savings for the NHS and for social care and freeing up housing for all generations by encouraging older people to downsize. Retirement communities play a key role in tackling social isolation and loneliness, rather than being, as they were potentially characterised in the past, as sort of grey ghettos detached from the local community. One of the distinctive features of retirement communities is they're often located on or next to the high street and bring different generations together through shared spaces and activities, helping to strengthen social connection. Residents in retirement communities are 5 times as likely as non-residents to participate in social events and 4 times as likely to meet up with friends. Only 1% of them say they feel isolated, which is about 30 times lower than the corresponding figure for people of their age group. Strengthening the social connections of older people is crucial, as recent evidence has demonstrated that high levels of social isolation and loneliness experienced by this group. According to the Campaign to End Loneliness, there are 4 million lonely older people in the UK. Over half of over 75s live on their own, and 500,000 older people go 5 or 6 days a week without seeing or speaking to anyone at all. Our members therefore place great value on their work to create friendships and connections across retirement community residents and between residents and the wider community. Due to the need to adhere to the government's guidance and rules around social distancing and reducing social contact to a minimum, retirement communities have had to take steps to restrict the use of communal facilities, which they usually provide, and have had to cancel many of the social and connection events that they've been running. These include having to restrict and for a time close their restaurants, cafes and gyms, which in normal times are a real hub for the public, as well as looking at various other facilities which have had to be closed for a while, such as cinemas, swimming pools, and even some of their outdoor spaces. While the outdoor open spaces would appear to have the same status as parks and therefore should have been able to remain open, there have been some legal difficulties that our members have faced in terms of how they've been classified. And definitely when they've been allowed to reopen them, there's been huge pent-up demand. So it's been great to see them being back in use in recent months. An example of a retirement community which in normal times helps to tackle social isolation amongst older people through shared spaces and activities, but which had to restrict use of these to prevent the spread of COVID-19 is the Chocolate Quarter in Keynsham, run by our not-for-profit member St Monica Trust. It's located on the site of an old chocolate factory. It's probably best not to mention the name of the old manufacturer there. It previously served as the heart of the community and its major employer. And since St Monica took over the site, they've really brought it back into that role as being a hub of the community, with its bar, cafes, leisure facilities acting as a hub for the whole town. The Chocolate Quarter includes 136 supported living units, a 93-bed care home, office space, a swimming pool, pottery, dance studio, a cinema, restaurant and bar, all accessible to local people and designed to appeal to all ages. The COVID-19 outbreak has forced the St Monica Trust into a difficult decision to close some of these facilities for a time, or to restrict their use to residents to protect the older people living there from infection, if I may. While a necessary step to take on medical grounds, this creates challenges for the social connection of residents with the communal facilities and services which are distinctive to the retirement community model, which is the main reason they moved in there. Many ARCO members have been quite innovative and creative in the way that they've responded to the COVID-19 crisis, though. They've come up with innovative ways of connecting which do not involve close contact. Another one of our members, Anchor Hanover, which is one of our founding members, they run more than 100 care homes and retirement communities across the country, pioneered a Be Kind to One Another initiative as the COVID crisis was emerging in the UK. They asked people to send letters, pictures, videos, and poems to their residents, offering an easy-to-use online tool for people to find the address of their local care home or retirement community. Within a matter of days, this had encouraged people of all ages to reach out to residents and to share messages of hope and positivity. This included Year 5 pupils at Park Junior School in Northampton, who broadcast their uplifting messages on BBC Radio to residents at the local Bilton Court care home. A number of our members have also used technology effectively to build stronger connections between residents during the time of physical separation. The Extra Care Charitable Trust, which operates retirement communities in the Midlands and south of England, has created an Extra Life online programme, a virtual village on Facebook through which residents can find exercises, activities, health advice, and other ways of staying connected during the outbreak. Inspired Villages, another one of our members who operates 7 retirement communities across the country, have set up a Facebook group called the Virtual Village. This acts as an online hub through which updates are shared, including indoor exercise classes, recipes, puzzles, nostalgia, jokes, and gardening tips. People are encouraged to share the page with friends, families, loved ones, and anyone they think would benefit, helping residents at inspired communities to stay connected with the wider world. As well as initiatives set up by our members to reduce social isolation for their own residents during the COVID-19 outbreak, they have led the way in sharing best practice and raising awareness of the importance of social connection during the period. St Monica's Trust organised the first ever National Intergenerational Week between this 22nd of March and the 29th of March, drawing on their experience of bringing young and old together, which they developed in the past through their participation in Channel 4's Old People's Home for 4-year-olds. Whilst this week it's initially been intended to celebrate ways of fostering connection through face-to-face contact, St Monica's Trust adapted to the situation and shared creative methods to build intergenerational bonds while staying physically separated. They also created a section on their website to draw attention to successful intergenerational projects run by organisations such as the Cares Family and Good Gym, for others to draw inspiration from. St Monica's work has been important in creating a stronger narrative and message around intergenerational connection and its role in tackling social isolation during the COVID-19 outbreak. While we've seen an increasing emphasis on technology's role in enabling social connection in recent months, for instance through FaceTime devices like Skype and Zoom and social media platforms such as Facebook, some barriers have remained in using technology as a means to reduce social isolation amongst older people. Whilst our members' retirement communities all provide free Wi-Fi and see many of their residents making active use of this, recent research has shown that across the UK, close to half of over 75s don't use the internet. The reasons for non-use require further research, but one study found that a perceived lack of need is the main reason. Whilst this should in no way stop us celebrating and expanding the technological tools to connect older people, it should prompt us to ensure that there are both online and offline means of social connection for older people, particularly as we potentially head back into a second wave of the virus. Our members have showcased a variety of different ways to reduce social isolation amongst older residents, providing tools both for those who regularly use the internet and those who prefer other forms of communication. Anchor Hanover's Be Kind to One Another initiative has encouraged offline letters and pictures, as well as the online ones I mentioned earlier. Likewise, the St Monica's Trust Intergenerational Week also explored ways of being able to make sure that those residents who did not have access to the internet were included. In addition to the specific challenges presented to retirement communities during the COVID-19 outbreak, a broader challenge for our sector's ability to reduce social isolation of this period has been the current lack of retirement communities provision in the UK, and that's obviously something which we as a sector have been working very hard to try and address. So I think overall, to conclude sort of the section of talking about the impact our members have had and the way they've managed, I would say that they have adapted incredibly well, shown a huge level of innovation, and really focused on the needs of their residents and put them first. And that has been the same approach which we as a team at ARCO have had to try and adopt as a membership body as well. just as our members put their residents first, we put our members first. And it has been challenging for us. As others have mentioned, we're a relatively small team, normally located in one office in Tooting. I think only a handful of us have been in there at all since March. But we have created ways of both staying connected as a team ourselves through both weekly team meetings and also weekly social events. So I think we've been part of the guilty wave of quizzes that spills over the country. But again, it's just been a way of trying to keep that connection going. We've also been organising weekly calls with our members during the whole of the COVID crisis to keep them informed about the latest developments on government regulation as an ever-changing picture, and to help share best practice throughout the sector. During the time that's been covered by the crisis, we had planned our annual conference, which often has 400 to 600 people meeting in one place in London, which has obviously been impossible. We made a decision to replace that by an online digital season of events, which spans most of June and July. We were also really encouraged by the uptake there. So we had many times the normal number of people participating. And as well as those who were able to watch at the time, we were also able to record these events, which provide high quality content, which can be available in the future as well. So I'm really encouraged by how we have adapted as a sector. It has obviously presented some challenges to us in terms of the profile our sector had been hoping for in terms of physical events, but I'm also encouraged by the creativity that has been shown. Just a final plug, if I may. The most important work has been the creativity and the compassion that's been shown on the front line by our members, staff, and by our members' residents, and that's why we chose to honour their efforts. And there was a series of accolades that we gave out about a month back, recognising particular individuals who've made huge efforts on the front line. And I think I think that's particularly important to remember, that that's where the most important social connection is going on. We can do all we can to try and create these systems which make it as easy as possible to try and overcome the barriers, but it really takes those individual efforts, the individual desire to keep social connection going and to find ways of showing how important it continues to be. And I think that's our big learning from this, that whilst everyone understood social connection was important to the retirement community setting before, I think it's become really clear to us that just how much weight our residents are prepared to put on that, and how much they are themselves prepared to make the lead on it, to take the lead on it. And that's what's been hugely encouraging for us as a sector. Thank you.